Hello and welcome to today's Python tutorial. Today we are going to build a price notifier. That is, I want to buy these headphones and now the price has dropped to 40 euros from 50. So there has been a 10 euro decrease in the price. I want an email to be sent to me automatically. I don't want to check this page all the time. I want to build a program that checks this page once a day, and if the price has dropped to less than 40, send me an email. So that is what we're going to make. And I'm not going to use Amazon or eBay or other online stores. What we are going to learn would be applicable to most online stores. So we are going to use this website called books.toscrape.com. This is basically like a sandbox for practicing web scraping. And I'm going to buy, for instance, this book, Sapiens. So this is the price. What we are going to do is we're going to send a request to this URL to get a response. That's why we are going to use request module. Then we are going to use beautiful soup to use that response and go through the elements and find which HTML tag is responsible for displaying this. So now if I click on inspect, I can see here, you see there's a p tag with this class price color, which is responsible for displaying this information. So whenever this number is below 40, an email should be sent to me. So this is basically how it's going to work. Now before getting to our code editor, I'm going to talk about web scraping in Python and DataCamp. I have bought a yearly subscription here and I'm enjoying it. That's why I'm recommending it. So you can go to DataCamp using the link, affiliate link in the description below, and there are a lot of free courses as well. You do not need to pay for all courses. There are a lot of projects, a lot of career tracks you can go and learn from. For example, there is Python programmer, R programmer, data analyst with Python, data scientist with Python, and a lot more. Okay, now let's go to our code editor of choice. I'm going to use PyCharm. You can use Sublime Text, Visual Studio Code, or Atom. Now the first thing we need to do in our terminal, let's install pip install requests. So I'm going to install this one. Now that it's done, up there, let's import it. So import requests. Now, why have I imported requests? Because I'm going to send a request to that URL. Which URL? Where was that? This URL. Because I'm going to get access to this page. So I'm going to create a variable called, I don't know, RE for example. And this RE is going to be the requests to get a URL. So we are sending requests to get this URL. And what do we get in response? Let's say if I print, let's have it more beautiful, print RE, and if I run this, we should see we get response 200, which means a successful status code. If you get something like 404, it means the page was not found. So now we have made a successful request and response. Got a good response. Now, this response is not useful on its own. So I'm going to grab the content of this response. So I'm going to create another variable like res. And that res is going to be RE that we just got. And I want to grab the contents of it. Now, if I print res, you would see what we get. It's basically a long line including all this HTML that you just saw, but in a very ugly format. So we are going to use now beautiful soup to take advantage of this response, turn it into an HTML structure, and grab that p tag. So let's go to our terminal and pip install beautiful soup 4. So for me, it didn't take that long because I've already installed it. For you, it might take a bit more. Now that we've installed Beautiful Soup, let's say from BS4 import Beautiful Soup, uppercase B, uppercase S. Okay, now we're going to make a variable that gives us access to all the good things about Beautiful Soup. Let's call it soup. Normally people call it soup. You can call it whatever you want. And that soup is going to give us access to everything in Beautiful Soup. Now here we get two arguments. The first one is the contents that we just got, that is in res. So let's just say res. The second one is we should mention that this is going to parse an HTML page. So we say HTML.parser, because this is what's basically including HTML codes. Now we are going to parse it in HTML. Now if I print the soup, it's a bit ugly, so let's just say prettify, make it more beautiful. So now if I run this, you see this is basically the same thing as inspect here. So this is our soup now. So this is going to be our basically our soup. Everything is here. Now if we look for the price, for example, up there, it should be somewhere around here. Let's see where we can find it. So where is the price? Yes, here. So this is the title and this is the price with a p tag with the class of price color. Let's just copy this class because we need it. So this is our soup. Now we're going to find a p tag with this class in our soup so that we get access to this number. So now that we have the soup, let's create another variable, call it price, and that price is going to go and into our soup and find, we are going to find one element, one price, and that's the first one. That's why we just use find a p tag, not every p tag, but the one with the class of price color. And remember, a class here, you can see there's an underscore after it, because this is a CSS class, not a Python class. Okay, so now we are going into our soup, all this code, and find a p tag with this class. Now, if I print price, what do you think I get? Let's run this. And we get this p tag with this class name, but we do not need the HTML tag. So what I can do is here, like price soup, after you found it, we say dot text, that is, get me the text of it. So let's run this, and you see now we only get the text, and inside the text, this is a string. I do not need the pound sign at index 0. We want only this one from index 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So from index 1 to the end. So that is a string, remember, that's why we use square brackets here. And we mention from index 1 colon up onwards. If I say 5, means up to 5. But if we leave it out, it means to the end. So now if I run this, I get this number. But still, this is the type of this is basically a string. So it is treated as text, not as a number. So I cannot say price plus 2. It wouldn't give me 56. It would just give me an error now. Because I see, because the type is actually a string. So I have to turn all this into a float so that I can compare it with other prices, like if the price is less than 40. So to compare these, we should turn it into a float. And why float? Because it has decimal numbers. That is, it is 54 point something. So now I can say type of price. What is the type of price? I don't even have a decent keyboard. Okay, so now you can see the type of price is float. Okay, so we can compare it now. Good. Now what shall we do with this price? We want to compare it, right? We want to say if the price is less than, for example, 40, because it's now 50 something, less than 40, print buy it. But I know the price is not less than 40, so this will not run. So just for having an example, let's say less than 60, for example. Now, if I run this, I get buy it. Great, so it works. The thing is, I do not want to print anything here. I want to have an email sent to me, right? So for having an email sent to me, I'm going to get rid of this and use SMTP. So we say import SM, and you can see SMTP library. So this is basically like a protocol, just like HTTP is a protocol for sending web pages across the internet. SMTP library is also used for sending emails. Now, if the price is less than 60, we should configure the email thing. So what should happen? First, we need to establish a connection and introduce our domains and names of the servers. For example, is it Gmail or is it Yahoo? So let's just say that we have SMT as an object. We are going to store information here, SMT, and this is going to be SMTP lib dot capital SMTP. So we are establishing connection here. And what is the name of your email provider? smtp.gmail.com means you are using Gmail. Gmail.com means you are using Gmail. So, and then we need to, why is this happening like that? Yeah, gmail.com. And the next one is the port number. Imagine, think of this as like a street number, and think of this as a door number of your apartment. So I'm going to use Yahoo, so I'm not going to use Gmail here. I would say mail.yahoo.com, and this is the port number. So we've established a connection using this domain name and this port. Now we need to say hello to the server, greet the server, just like imagine. You go to this address number, to this door, and you knock on the door. What happened is SMT, that the object that we have, .alo. So we are going to say hello, that a hello basically, it's like extended hello or something like that. So we are going to greet our server. Once we've done that, we are going to establish trust, security, and encryption. Make sure no one's listening. So I would say SMT.start TLS. So it's going to start a security measures for encryption. Once I've done that, I have to make sure that I have the right ID, that is login information for my email. So again, we go to this address, we knock on this door, we say hello, we make sure no one's listening, and then we introduce our ID. So we will say smt.login, and here we get two parameters. One is your email address. I'm going to use my Yahoo email address here. And the second one is the password to your email. So for Yahoo and for Gmail, it's a bit tricky because you don't want to use the password to the whole Google account. That's why you can go under your Google account, you can find generate app password. I'm going to do the same thing with Yahoo now. I'm going to show you how. So I'm here in my Yahoo account, and under account security, you can go down below and find app password. The same concept is also in Gmail. And here, if I generate this, I already have one, so I can delete this one. And then I can produce, not here, I can produce another one, and I will delete it later. So let's call it scraper, generate, and this is going to be the password to my app, that is Yahoo email. Let's copy this and go back and insert it here. Now that we've established also our credentials, it's time to send mail, that is from who to who and what is a message. So smtp.send mail, it takes 3 arguments. First one, from who? Well, it's going to be from me. To who, comma, at the end, to me again, but another email, wait, python at yahoo.com. And then the last one is the message. The message, I'm going to use this price variable that we got inside the message. That's why I'm going to use f strings. So f, and the first word should be subject. And what is the subject? Let's say price notifier, something like that, or headphones price notifier. And then two new lines, so \n means two new lines, and here is going to be the body. So hey, price has dropped to, and curly braces, price. So price has dropped to price. Why is it in curly braces? Because this price is different from this price. This is like a value that I get from here. So the price has dropped to whatever price. Go buy it, something like that. Buy it. Okay. Now, once I've sent this email, I should make sure that I quit and close the server. So I would say smt.quit. That's it. Now that we've done everything, okay, let's check it. If I now run this program, yes, let's see, everything's fine. Yeah, I guess so. Okay. If I run this, and let's go to my email, nothing is here. So let's see if something happens. So let's refresh this. And yes, I got it. Headphones price notifier. Hi, price has dropped to this price. Buy it. Great. So we've done that, but there's an issue here. Let's delete this. The issue is I don't want to manually come here and run the program every time. I want this program to run, let's say once a day, and once a day you should go all over this again and check if the price is lower, and then send me an email. That is why I'm going to use a while loop. So let's just use a while loop here and say while true, and true is always true. So this is going to run all over and over again. So let's press a tab, but I'm not going to run this because this will be sending requests like crazy to this URL and send me also an email like crazy. I want this to run once a day. So that's why I'm going to use import time module. Now that we imported time module here, let's go down below and say, okay, when everything is done like this, it's time to sleep. For how many seconds? If I say 5, it means 5 seconds. So let's just try this for 5 seconds now, and let's see if I get an email every 5 seconds. So let's see if it's correct. Yeah, everything should be good. Okay, I'm going to run this now, and let's go to our email. So let's check once again. So this is 1. Let's say in 5 seconds what happens. Yeah, let's see. And another one. So every 5 seconds this is going to send me an email. Let me stop this here. This is going to be crazy. So instead of 5 seconds, I want to say 4 for 24 hours multiplied by 60 for a minute. That is 60 minutes in an hour by 60 for seconds. Now this should be basically the number of seconds in a day. So that means when you've done this, go to sleep for 1 day and then wake up again and do this. So this is basically it. Yeah, so this is basically it. So again, we've imported requests and Beautiful Soup to send requests and get to the price. We've imported SMTP library to send emails, and we've imported time to set a time to sleep. Otherwise this will run all over again like crazy, and we don't want that. So whenever you have a while loop, you should make sure that you stop it at some point, you break it at one point. And for us that break point is this time here. It's gonna sleep for a day, and then it will check again the price, and if the price is less than 60, then it will send an email. And the price in our case is of course less than 60, it's 50 something. but let's say if we put it to less than 40, then we can make sure that whenever the price gets less than 40, there will be an email sent to us. Okay, I hope you liked the video, and I would really appreciate it if you like the video. I mean, press the like button if you want to share it or subscribe to my channel. And thank you very much for watching and listening.